Well, when the weather gets warm like this, a lot of us just get that itch to make some changes. Maybe one of those changes you've considered is a new car. But there are so many options. Where in the world do you even begin your search? You'll want to buy something. You don't want to break the bank. So joining us today to help is Micah Musio, who is the managing editor of Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Micah, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely, yeah, I am here to help. There's an amazing thing happening in the world of cars right now, which is that you can get some very, very cool cars at prices you wouldn't have expected to pay, certainly not a decade ago. Cool cars under $18,000, who'd have guessed?
So you've got the top 5 under $18,000. Tell me about that.
Well, I'll just dive into number 1. Over my right shoulder here, this is the Hyundai Veloster, and it's a really interesting car. When we think about cool cars, naturally design is one big thing we consider. There's nothing else that looks like the Hyundai Veloster. So if when you approach it from the driver's side, you have one door and a very cool coupe-like profile, but on the other side, there are 2 doors. So you've got a little bit of practicality if you need to throw like a child seat in the back or throw some buddies in the back on the other side, but a really interesting design. Also gets 37 miles per gallon on the freeway. This isn't a car costing under $18,000. So really pretty impressive stuff. Another cool design that you've probably seen the Kia Soul right here to my left. The Soul has sold extremely well for Kia, and there's a couple of key reasons why. One, it looks cool. It's an interesting design. It's you've probably seen the dancing hamsters and such, but that design has some practicality to it too. Built vertically, it's almost like an SUV in terms of its practicality. So you can load it up with all sorts of cool stuff, like a mountain bike and head to the mountains for the weekend, or load it up with your friends and head out to the club or whatever cool activities you engage in. By the way, another cool thing, the fact that you don't have to worry about paying for engine repairs. A 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the powertrain. So that's a little bit of peace of mind, and peace of mind is kind of cool too.
Yeah, no kidding about that. So $18,000, why is $18,000 such an important price point?
$18,000, it's sort of been our holding point over the last several years. It's an accessible price for all. If you're looking to buy a car, most people can afford something under $18,000. And in fact, some of these cars start well under $18,000. The Kia Soul, right a little over $14,000 for a base level Soul. The Ford Focus, if you have about $16,000, you can get into a Focus. And the Focus is cool from a different angle. Think more driving dynamics, the kind of car that when you get into it, you really want to drive it. And what's happened is that Ford has merged its European and American Focus lines into a single car. So as Americans, we enjoy the benefit of that European ride and handling, in a car that's, again, very accessibly priced. And by the way, there's a version of the Focus that gets 40 miles per gallon on the freeway.
Wow.
So, great efficiency and the kind of car that you look at and you like that kinetic design. So, there's really a ton of great choices out there right now for not a lot of money, and you can find out all about it at Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com.
Okay, Micah, tell me the truth now. Can I really be cool and frugal at the same time?
Yeah, totally. There's no reason not to be cool and frugal. But I mean, regardless of whether or not you're cool or I'm cool, at least our cars can be cool. There's never really been a better time to be a small or a cheap car buyer and have a car that you feel good about driving. Okay, we got a whole list of 10, so check it out, KBB.com.
So any new trends or cool features that you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. Features, technology, the kind of stuff that you used to find only in expensive cars is now trickling down to an inexpensive car range. So I'd mentioned the Ford Focus. There's a killer feature that you can get on the Focus. It'll bump you up above that $18,000 mark, but auto park. You push a single button, you drive down a line of cars, it'll tell you when you've passed a parking spot big enough for the car, and then hands off the wheel, it'll park itself.
Holy mackerel. Okay, boil it down for me. What's the best advice you can give me about buying my cool car with the best budget?
Do your research. It's the internet era. There's no reason not to go to the dealership fully informed. So, go to KBB.com, do a bunch of research, narrow down your list, and then when you have a couple of cars that you are really interested in, go test drive them. Actually get behind the wheel and see what they're like, because those little annoyances that you maybe don't think about when you're on the test drive will become big annoyances over time. So do your research.
do the test drive, and look cool doing it.
Look cool doing it. Mike Abusio, managing editor of Kelley Blue Books, KBB.com. Thank you for your time this afternoon. What's great stuff there. Now, if you want some more information on what Mike was just talking about, all you have to do is go to DelmarvaLife.com and click on the show tab. Also, still to come on Delmarva Life, ketchup, mustard, relish, onions. They're not the only toppings for your hot dog. How about coleslaw, peanut butter, crab meat, cream cheese? Oh, yeah. We're in the kitchen with a few other tasty toppings for the Cookout Classic. Plus, get used to the name, Ian Wagner. We've got a feeling you're going to be hearing his name a lot in the future. He is the 14-year-old local author behind this book, The Jungle. He's going to join us next to tell us more about his inspiration. But first, many of us take road trips this time of year. If you're one of the many who suffers from motion sickness, Dr. Oz has a couple of ways to beat it.
If you suffer from motion sickness, here are ways to beat it. Motion sickness happens when two motion sensors in our body disagree with each other. So let's say you're reading in the car and the car hits a bump, and then it turns. The motion sensors in your ears feel your body moving, but your eyes, the other motion sensors, say you're not. This confusion makes you feel sick. To stop motion sickness, just close your eyes or take ginger for its powerful anti-nausea effect.